Hey, this is Mike, and you are watching Real Black.
Real black, it's real black.
And we're with the guy, Torry, who just killed it. Well, you warned everybody before you went on. You have no filter.
No filter, man. I'm too old for a filter, man. I mean, I've been in this game for, 24, almost 25 years now. I'm comfortable in my own skin now.
Yeah, well, today's your birthday, too. You're working on your birthday.
Yes, another trip around the sun. Another trip around the sun.
Well, happy birthday. I mean, we're the same age. I mean, you got a couple months on me. My birthday's not till September.
September, okay. September what?
20th.
Okay, you a Libra or Virgo?
Virgo, right on the cusp.
My dad was a Virgo. I thought you were going to say Libra. My brother's a Libra, Joe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you into numerology and all this stuff?
I'm into all that stuff, man. I love 69.
That's when we were born. Yeah, so I guess, all right, so what's like we both grew up in the 70s and the 80s. We got all those memories.
The 90s were the best, though. 90s was kind of bittersweet because it was good for money and stuff, but it's the whole third strike super predators crap, too, that kind of handcuff black people. But I like the 90s. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What stands out? Let's talk about the 90s.
The
Because 90s are nostalgic.
Hip hop in the 90s was the bomb. Yeah, East Coast and West Coast banging at the same time, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's nostalgia now. New Edition's got a movie.
New Edition, the legends, the icons, absolutely, man.
And NWA, biggest
NWA, yes. West Coast, left coast to best coast.
And you got your own unsung.
Yeah, my brother and I did an unsung, man. TV One was, felt that we had a career worthy enough to do a documentary on our careers, man, and that was just humbling.
So, I mean, how does it feel? You're on your birthday.
Yeah.
You made it to an age where you are old enough to be a part of history.
Wow. Short history, but history. Yeah, man, it was a comedy boom, man. That's the comedy, black comedy, bounced back, in the early 90s with Def Comedy Jam. I mean, that really was the show that was like Moses. It took a lot of brothers to the promised land. I said that before.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
and I've always said that. A lot of people don't want to give Def Jam its due, but it was definitely the shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of things I didn't know until I saw the unsung.
Oh, yeah. Like we grew up poor. A lot of people think, we grew up with a silver spoon in our mouth, but there were some tough times in there, man. Like real tough times. Like we really had groceries on layaway. Like for real.
Right. So the entertainment, and you're talking about the 90s. So that was a time not only did a door open for comedians to like make a living, but also musicians and stuff.
A lot of people, the night I did that I'm doing a documentary on the Fat Tuesdays is a night it encompassed all that. It wasn't just for comedians that came out and showcased their talent and skills, but we had directors come through like John Singleton and F. Gary Gray, man, and Quentin Tarantino. We had celebrities come out like Denzel and Prince and Shaq and all those guys, man, Shamar Moore, man, you name it, they came out, man, but they networked. Mm-hmm. Producers behind the scenes, Snoop would come and Tupac would come and Suge Knight would come, and they all networked over doing movies together, working together. Mm-hmm. There's a story that Cedric tells about networking. There's a story that Kevin Hart tells about he learned how to cut his teeth in L.A. by coming to Fat Tuesdays. And, the 90s were great, man.
Yeah, well, so Fat Tuesdays was your night. What was it, the comedy?
Comedy store, man. It's kind of the first of its kind that was successful. It was an urban night at a white club. Really no white club in the country was doing an urban night like that. Mm-hmm. And that successfully. And I just showcased a lot of talent, man. And a lot of careers were... I didn't make a lot of careers, but I gave them a platform to showcase, and they got a lot of work out of it. I can't take credit for their success, just credit for being able to be, a conduit to, to their careers.
Well, I mean, so let's talk about the 90s then. Because a lot of people, I think it's changed.
Big hoop earrings. Remember the big hoop earrings? Yeah, that was nice.
Did you ever make it? Now, I could cut now to footage from NWA Beach Party. Like, they used to have parties over the pool and stuff. You ever been to one of them?
I never went to an NBA beach party, man. I was still new. Because that was like really early 90s. I moved out to LA into 92. Okay. So that was kind of like really early 90s. And then I wasn't making it yet.
Okay.
To be invited to the beach party.
You didn't get to, and Dr. Dre didn't call you in?
But Dr. Dre used to come to Fat Tuesdays.
Okay.
Dr. Dre used to come to Fat Tuesdays, man. I think he brought Michelle A one time. And but yeah, he used to come to Fat Tuesdays, man, and he even recommended me for a show that they were looking for a host for, and Dr. Dre recommended me, and I was like, wow, this guy, and this is before he was the Dr. Dre. He was on his way to being the icon and entrepreneur that he is now, and the mogul that he is now, but he was still a beast, yeah.
Yeah, but everybody knew. So let's take a trip back in memory lane.
Down memory
I don't wanna
lane.
I don't want to go too far back, but I mean, I think a lot of people are watching this stuff. I want people to, when they see these conversations, to be inspired. Also, I don't necessarily want to feel old. I know I can't. I'm getting caught. I got the gray hair and all that stuff.
Man, old is just, it's in your mind, man. I feel like I'm 25, man.
But I mean, talking to millennials, I mean, it's a different
millennials,
world.
I love them. I love the millennials, man. I love what they're doing, the way they're getting put on right now. They're not waiting on Hollywood or New York to call them, man. The millennials, man, are doing it. They're proactive. They're using social media to their advantage. Everybody want to talk about the millennials, but man, hey, the millennials, we can learn something from them. They can learn. I wish we could bridge the gap. Like they can learn from us, and we can learn from them. That's what I try to do with the millennial comics, man. It's like the guys that came up with me and the guys came up before me, man, who paved the way. We have a show. We know how to sustain an audience for an hour and a half without losing, one person. The millennials, they know how to be funny within short seconds, a minute, 7 minutes, 7 seconds, things like that. So we can bridge the gap and learn from each other. Like we can learn as comedians, as the old school, learn how to be funnier quicker, and they can learn how to sustain an audience for an hour and a half. Then I think that's the synergy that needs to happen, not just dissing the old school and the old school dissing the millennials. Yeah. Nah, let's bridge that gap, man, and learn from each other.
You know what? Maybe we should be more than just friends.
No, I'm loving that you're saying that, because I mean, one of the things I was talking about, like I first went to LA at the same time, like 92 or so. But I didn't stay out there. But one of the things that I know is like,
so you left, I came. 92. That was a year.
Well, I actually left right when Tupac got shot. 96 is I was.
That was not. Yeah, that was 90. That was 96.
Yeah,
absolutely. I remember where I was when it happened.
You want to tell us a story?
Tupac had come to Fat Tuesdays 2 weeks before after he got out of jail, and then he was just real cool, mad cool, man. And then he got shot 2 weeks. He came a couple other times, man, and then he came like 2 weeks right before he got shot. And he was always a staple, and he was always a regular at Fat Tuesdays, man. So when that happened, that was a tough time for me and the club, man, because he was always supportive of my career, because he had done Poetic Justice with my brother Joe. And I remember one night I was doing Fat Tuesdays, and Tupac came, and my brother was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go on stage and do something." And Tupac was like, "Man, you got yours. Let your little brother get his, man. Sit down and drink with a nigga." And I always respected that about Tupac, man. He respected the hustle, because he brought 20 people one time.
Wow.
And, celebrities always want to get in free, but Tupac was like, "Nah, man, it's your hustle. I'll pay for everybody."
Wow.
And you don't hear that. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You hear everybody want to get in free. But Tupac was always respectful of the game.
Yeah, but so I love what you said about bridging the gap, because it seems like at that time it was new to a lot of people, and there was still that sort of like the one nigga at a time kind of belief, like, okay, Eddie's got it, and then Martin's gonna get it, and then so the masses of people that are in a position now of power to like get movies put on,
right,
make your own stuff is a lot different now. And
I try not to buy into that. I mean, I'm sure that's part of, the thinking of, the business. Like just let one, Negro be on top at the time.
Right.
But I try not to buy into that, because that means that you're going to not strive to be that nigga. So I believe, not to sound corny, man, but I put everything in God. When God is ready for me to have what I'm going to have, that's going to happen. I don't put the power in Hollywood's hands, please, whatever. They don't supersede God.
Of course.
So, I try not to buy into that. But, if you look at it from that standpoint, it does seem like that. But that's not going to stop me from being great.
Just in terms of like early 90s, I mean, we had Faison Love talking about the break with Friday. I mean, your break came around the same time.
My break came with Def Comedy Jam on the comedy tip. That was the key that started the whole engine, hands down. And then the acting really broke with, my first move was Don't Be a Menace to South Central, Drinking Juice in the Hood. It really crossed me over with American History X. That's the movie that crossed me on the mainstream.
And I hope you can work out, all right? Because the last guy they sent me didn't wear no drawers, couldn't read the sizes in the drawers, and used to sniff the drawers, all right? We got 2 sizes, medium and large, all right? All you gotta do is put the mediums with the mediums and the large with the large, all right? Now look here, I know it's a boring job, but it's better than that last shit they had me doing. I spent 2 years in the kitchen scrubbing hot-ass pots and pans. That you don't want to do, all right? So, man, you should be happy as shit that you land this job, all right? Ain't no telling what the hell they have you do up in the joint. By the way, what you in for? Probably robbed some old lady, huh? Okay, I know your kind, right? Badass peckerwood with an attitude. But let me tell you something, man. You better watch your ass. Because in the joint, you the nigga, not me.
Right now, I just recently watched that again, and it's sort of like what Ed Norton was saying in the streets is now being said on TV in some ways.
Yeah, this whole, it's two Americas, man. You know, there's America that, you know, that voted for Donald Trump, and the America that didn't vote for Donald Trump. And it's crazy because, I mean, this last election showed how that this country is more sexist and racist, and that's even more dangerous.
How do you mean?
You know, because I mean, women don't get a fair shake in the world at all, and especially in this country. And this last election could have been reflective of how much we've grown. You know, we had a African American president, and then we had a woman president. I don't use the word minority because there's nothing minor about me. It's a word created to make you feel less than. So I'm not minor. Ain't shit minor about me. So, you know, and if you put together all the so-called minorities, we're the majority. So the only person that's not a minority are white men. And that's, if you add up everybody else, we're the majority. So I don't use the word minority. So this country had a chance to really put a woman on top, regardless of her background. Come on. All politicians are somewhat shady and got a pass. We got a shady pass, but they're not going to tell me that she wasn't more qualified than the dude that they elected. Now, I admire his hustle game because he hustled and I think paid for the election. At the same time, I think he paid off some surrogates, some delegates, I mean. And but at the same time, I mean, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. God didn't let this happen for no reason. And he always gets the victory in the end. So I'm not worried. Whoever's president, it don't matter. It don't affect me at all. It don't affect my hustle. It don't affect my drive. It don't affect, you know, how I think. It's just like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? We only had one black president.
Right.
So I'm 48. What did we do long before Barack Obama? And, you know, so, you know, I'm going to miss him.
Well, absolutely. Well, speaking to the millennials, a lot of people that are watching this, their conscious life, they've only known a black president. So this is a big wake-up call.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, button up, dust yourself off, and get strong. You know, you got to go through something to be strong. You can't have it easy your whole life, and this is a time that's going to test your character. This is going to see what you made of. It's going to be a lot of pressure on you. Because you saw the numbers, you saw all the red states. It's a wake-up call. And it's going to be a lot of pressure. Pressure does two things. It busts water pipes and make diamonds. So which one are you? Are you going to bust or are you going to shine like a diamond? So this is the time to see what this pressure is going to do.
God, Torry, dropping jewels. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I've been going back and watching a lot of old movies, like from the 90s and early, like, so American History X is one that I definitely think people need to go back and look at now. You know, not much, it's overt, but it's covert. Like
right.
I said, you know.
It was amazing, that movie. I didn't know the magnitude of that movie when I was doing it. It's funny because a lot of people use it as a teaching tool. Like, there's not a week that goes by since the movie's been out that I don't get stopped on the street or on a plane or in the airport or anywhere saying, man, we studied that movie in school. Oh, man, it's a crazy movie. That movie changed my life. I was in Toledo, Ohio. And, no, I take that back. Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
And a young man came to my show, white guy, and said, man, you have no idea how much that movie changed my life. I was one of those guys.
Wow.
And he said, watching that, he started tearing up. He said, watching that movie changed my life. And like, wow. That was powerful, and it was humbling. Very humbling.
No, definitely. No, I mean, a lot of people, they watch the channel, they pay attention. Like, we have a guy, Charles Woods, who's a movie historian. And we have a debate whether your character was a magic Negro or not, in terms of the role he served in the film, What's I'm on the. I mean, I think the way you
Magic
played it, the way it
Negro.
was written, maybe, but the way you played it, not at all.
You know what? That movie, and I probably heard people probably heard this story 1,000 times, but I was given that role because of Fat Tuesdays, my comedy night. The reason why I created the night was to showcase comedians, not really showcase me. I had an agent manager. I was really trying to help guys who didn't really have representation. But I ended up going up one night, and they came in there to see another comedian for that role, and heard my jokes, liked my energy, and then they gave me the role for it. So the director, we had a great director, Tony K, who allowed me to be myself. Gave me the green light. I ad-libbed. I mean, it was a great script already, but he let me ad-lib, like 80% of my lines. So
Did you get a lot of days on it? It seems like it was a short shoot for you.
it was a short shoot, but I mean, we had meetings outside of shooting. A lot of the scenes, it was a great script, but some of it wasn't making sense. It wasn't coming together. So we would work on making Ed's character and my character bond a little bit better to make it seem more real and organic rather than just Hollywood magic shit.
Right. Which
Yeah.
is, like I said, that's the way it's written, but the way you...
Because
what
most
you bring
men,
to
no
it.
matter what your ethnicity, bond over sports. And even if you disagree, it's still a common bond. Like, that's why I love sports so much. It's crazy how my favorite event or sporting event are the Olympics.
Okay.
Because no matter what your ethnicity is, your political affiliation, your religious background, your gender, or your social class, every 4 years, it's all about USA. It's not about who you are, what you are, we on the same team. Why does it take every 4 years or a 9/11 event for all of us to be on the same page? If it's that easy to turn on and off every 4 years or a 9/11 event, why can't we do it every fucking day?
I want to segue into, I'm going to ask you about some of the movies that have come out recently, or since we last talked, really, because it's been almost 8 years since we
Yeah, I know, man.
saw each other. But while we're talking about American History X, there's a lot of debate in terms of like the director and the director's cut and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
What did we miss, or did you have a chance to see?
I didn't get a chance to see the director's cut, but I mean, I lived it. There's some scenes in there that I would have liked to have stayed in there, but there was a conflict between, Ed Norton and the director ended up taking his name off of it and brought in a guy to edit the film. And I got a compliment from the guy who edited it and was like, "Man, me and my wife enjoyed you in this film." But when Ed Norton is a incredible actor, man. His work speaks for itself. But his method of it may rub people the wrong way, but and the silver lining is that he cares about the entire film. Now, I would approach the whole thing differently, but everybody's different.
Right.
It doesn't make it wrong; it makes it different.
Right. Well, yeah, it sounds like it was, but what came out of that is the diamond.
Yeah. But because you had a great director and a great actor and a script where no matter what you shot, it was going to be, whatever way you cut it was going to be good stuff. I mean, the director Tony K was also a photographer, and the cinematography was just breathtaking, and the angles
Absolutely.
and the choice to go black and white and then the color, it was just bomb. So, he did a good job, and because he didn't edit it, but he shot it and wasn't there, the fact shows how great of a director that he is.
Wow. Yeah, it's a shame he hasn't worked as much within the system.
Well, that's because, you know what? It's funny because that was his first film. So you kind of like and that was a problem, man. He wrote this article in the Variety, Daily Variety, the Hollywood paper, about how he came to America wanting to fulfill his dream to direct a motion picture, and then his dream was taken away from him in the editing room. It was kind of sad what they did to him. And it kind of like put a bad taste in your mouth. It's like first impressions. And that, I trust me, it can happen,
Well, I mean, speaking of what was your journey like in terms of, I mean, watching the Unsung? I mean, both of you guys are blowing up, and everybody around you. It's a huge amount of energy in terms of what black folks were doing in Hollywood at the time that you first hit, and then, it goes
peaks
up
and
down.
valleys. It's peaks and valleys, man. I mean, definitely there you have your. It's easier to get in the business than stay in. because when you're naive and you're trying to get in, you balls to the wall. And when you get in, you start seeing some of the stuff behind the scenes and some of the stuff you get offered, and some of the they try to change you in some ways and things like that. You love the art, you love the craft, and you get frustrated with the business of it or the politics of it, but you still love the art of it, and that's what happens. It wears on you, and that's just being average. Now put being black on that. You know, I can't even imagine what black women go through. It's got to be tough. That's why anytime a black woman works and wins in this business, I applaud that. But the business it's a great business, but I mean, it is what it is, man. And the ups and downs, there's peaks and valleys. I heard an interview with Pharrell not too long ago. He was talking about hidden figures and how, you know, they're talking about his music career and how he jumped off the scene for a minute and then came back on the scene. And he said the universe is that way sometimes. Sometimes you have your moment, and then you fade out, and then you just got to stay focused, keep grinding, and it'll come back around. You know. But if you fall off and let this business make you bitter and mad and screw everybody and fuck everybody and nobody's this, forget that person, that's how you block your blessings. It won't come back around for you when you do that. When you just stay positive and keep grinding,
Well, is
it's
there
gonna come back
anything that
around.
you would change besides the Kings of Comedy? We can watch Unsung for that. Is there anything that you would have done differently? Like if you knew then what you know now, how would you approach it?
Man, God ordered my steps. I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, it is what it is. What am I going to change? I learned. I believe in lessons and blessings. I don't believe in good luck or bad luck. I believe in lessons and blessings. The blessings are the good things. The lessons are the so-called bad things you learn from and move on.
Okay. But, I mean, so now, okay, so we're early 90s, John Singleton, Spike Lee, Rusty Cundiff, all these folks who were making movies, even...
F. Gary Gray.
F. Gary Gray, and I'm trying to think of some women.
Millicent Shelton, who directed Ride.
Yeah. So now it seems like we're kind of back in that place again where there's a little bit of a saturation in terms of content with black folks.
I mean, black people are the shit. I'm just gonna say it. And a lot of the lack of work and stuff doesn't come from our side. It comes from, I believe, jealousy and the fear of the fear of black people. And we don't get the budgets that we should have sometimes. We don't get our pick of the litter that we should have sometimes. And sometimes that, that can hurt us, but we gotta stay focused and just make lemonade out of lemons. It's just real talk. So there's so many talented black actors, writers, directors, producers, editors, production people out there. We don't get the shot.
Yeah, absolutely. And we need to not only support the work, but
I support all black stuff. I mean, sometimes I blame us a lot of times, not just Hollywood. I blame us sometimes because we don't support the films and projects that we should. I don't care what it is, black. I support it. Black drug dealer. I buy the crack and throw it away. Just keep that nigga working.
all right, you got me on that one.
But the thing about it is we need to support our black films and our black TV shows. And when you're watching a black TV show and there's a commercial that comes on, support that product. Because when they see sales go up, when they're advertising during the Guy Torry show, guess what? They're going to buy more advertising for the Guy Torry show that keeps that show on the air another season. So just don't watch the show. You see a commercial, it's a product that you may want to try or use, support that product because that's what pays for those TV shows. Okay. It's the commercials.
Right. Well, like I said, 2016 was a big year for film and a lot of stuff. But I mean, film-wise, I mean, what did you see that you liked with black folks? Did you see Hidden Figures yet?
Of course, I saw Hidden Figures. I saw Fences, I've been watching a lot of documentaries too, man.
Okay.
I'm working on mine. I've been impressed with all the hip hop documentaries and
the stuff
the
on
Nina
Netflix.
Simone documentary and the shows like Atlanta. I love the shows Blackish. I hate that they didn't give Mike Epps a longer season for his show.
For Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck, man. I mean, we don't have a lot of time. We don't have many chances to fail. And we got to support, all our shows. I mean, we just have to do. I mean, that's why I love the Netflixes and the Amazons and all these other outlets now to showcase, black writers, black directors, black producers who wouldn't normally get a chance on one of the big networks. So, and now, there's no excuses anymore either, black folks. Can't just blame Hollywood no more. Look at the millennials. I mean, we got camera phones, smartphones now. You can do your own thing. And they have agencies now who have departments just comb the internet for talent. So there's no excuses anymore. You can do your own projects, brand yourself, and trust me, you got the followers and you got the views. They're gonna come get you. But you gotta get off your ass.
Are you up on the Vine comedians? Do they come out to your events or your?
The Vine comedians?
The guy like
Vine is gone now.
Oh, that's right, it's over with.
Vine's over.
But the guy was in Almost Christmas. He started out doing Vines.
Well, you got DC Young Fly, who's a young guy that's coming up now. I can't remember, it's another young cat. He got a million views. Does his own stuff. There's a lot of them. I can't recall him right now. I just got off the stage doing the show.
Of course, yeah.
I'm still coming
and we
down
don't
off my
slide
show.
anybody.
But a lot of the new millennials, I mean, they are artistic and they are learning how to do stuff in a short period of time and be funny. And once they build their resume and their cachet and build their stage presence and things like that, they're going to be great. And I think my generation can help them with that. And I think, like I said earlier, the generation, the millennials, can help us with being, a little bit more relevant to the millennials.
Right. Now, I always subscribe to the 10,000 hour rule. Malcolm Gladwell. He said, in order to be master anything, you have to put 10,000 hours into it.
I got way more than that.
Averages out to about 10 years. But it
Well,
seems
they say
like
that in the comedy. They say you're not a real comedian until you hit 10 years. You're a comic until you hit 10 years. Then you become a comedian. And I said this on the Steve Harvey show. It's a difference between being a comic and a comedian. And a comic says funny things. A comedian make things funny.
So what's funny to you right now?
This fucking country is funny to me right now. I'm serious. It's just I'm still laughing at who we have as our president of the United States. I know it's like I'm contradicting myself because I believe in God, but still, my flesh is still struggling with this bullshit.
Well, make me feel better because I'm not over it. I need a laugh on this one.
Well, for me, I mean, it's tons of material. So
I mean,
I ain't gonna lie. 10% of me wanted Trump to win.
Okay.
5%, 5% was I'm gonna get a lot of material for the next 4 years. The other 5% was he's gonna be so horrible, the KKK gonna be begging for Barack to come back in office, and they have Michelle beautiful self in the White House.
Well, I'll throw you a softball. So I know.
Who knew Michelle had that booty on her? Like Michelle Obama hid that booty for 7.5 years, and she took that picture like 6 months, before she got out of office, and that ass was like, "Ba-dow!" Sorry.
Well, I'm glad you
First
said that
lady
because
got a
I said
nice
that on the
ass.
range. She's like, you knew. I was like, nah.
No, I didn't know.
Never
I
saw
said
it.
she hit that ass.
It's like, all right.
Thank you, Michelle.
But all right, so today's January 12th is your birthday, and they're doing the confirmations. Ben Carson being confirmed.
Ben Carson. Hey, brother. Hey, brother. Oh, Ben Carson. Oh, the Republican. Not a Republican. Republican. Yeah. Stacey Dash. Yeah. Larry Elder. All you preachers, you black preachers, all y'all Republicans. I said it. I don't give a fuck.
I say every brother.
I said it. You ain't got to come to my show. I can give a fuck.
Every brother ain't a brother, right?
No. Who else?
Where's Public?
Omarosa.
Okay.
And we were friends.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, really? Omarosa? Really?
Well, all right. So
Really? Stacey
how-
Dash, you played my wife on the show. I knew when I kissed you in that scene, it tastes like smothered chicken because it wasn't fried chicken.
help me purge this. So I'm watching this. I can't. It's like watching a train wreck. So Kellyanne Conway is on all the time.
Yes. Hey, you know what? I give it up to her because it's a woman, and she won it for him. So you got to give her props for her hustle. You gotta give her props for her hustle. Any woman that is successful in this world, they get big ups from me because this is not a woman's world. It's a man's world, unfortunately.
But she's got to clean up every mistake he makes.
She can
everything
do
he
it.
says.
Dude, women are smarter than men. A lot. They're more emotional. Well, they're wired to be more emotional. Not really. We're just as emotional as women. We're just wired to suppress ours. They're wired to, showcase theirs. But she can handle it. She got him elected. Through all the crap that he had, she got him elected. He was not winning before she joined the team, if you remember that. He went through, two campaign managers, and he was sucking. Like, mwah, mwah, mwah. Took it in the face.
Well,
But then when she joined,
all right. I'm glad we're talking. So help me understand this. I had Paul Mooney on the same stage.
Man,
a while
legend,
ago.
icon, Paul Mooney, Mr. Mooney.
I wish he was here now to help us make some sense out of this, but we have you guys.
He's around. He and Dick Gregory, man, two comedy gods.
Right.
And Dick Gregory from St. Louis, my hometown. Went to high school with my father.
Yeah,
Sumner High School, St. Louis, Missouri. His brother Ron Gregory, great athlete, still have records at Sumner High School. But anyway, I didn't go to Sumner.
But
I know.
so I asked him how do you get away with it? I mean, how does Trump? He says anything that he wants and there's no criticism. What is that?
And now he
about?
peed. Now he watching people get peed on, golden showers. I mean, not like regular people. Like they didn't drink water. It probably was like goldenrod, that type of yellow, like real. Anyway,
in Russia.
because he's white, and he is rich, and he's bold and unfiltered. And here's the thing. I mean, unfortunately, like I said, we live in a sexist society, and I think women who voted for Trump, still feels, women want to be secure. They want to feel secure. No matter what the ethnicity is, women want to feel secure, like they're safe. And because Trump was talking about what he would do with ISIS and then heavy talk, and he's rich, if they felt safe with him, rather than feeling, safe with Hillary. They felt safe with, those are women who are still wired that, that to me, a woman needs a man to make them feel safe, and you really don't. Women's come a long way. They got a long way to go. But you don't really need a man as much as you used to anymore.
Yeah, it's sort of like Trump did talk his way into a lot of beds with that.
Hey man, he got the gift of gab. He got game. He ran game, man. And you ever see a real ugly guy with a fine ass woman? You're like, what is she doing with him? He's ugly. He has these, but he got game. Trump pimped his way into the office. He spit game on his supporters and the people who were on the fence, and he got their mind, and he got in the office, man. You got to take your hat off to his hustle. I didn't vote for him, but he hustled his ass into the office.
Yeah, I guess The Mac is another movie to look back at.
Yeah, dun-dun-dun. Yeah.
So 2016, I mean, I'm sort of glad it's over in a way because all the celebrity passings, transitions.
I made it.
Yeah, you weren't on TMZ.
I've been on there, but not for that.
Okay.
Man, when you're born, you have an expiration date. That is one appointment you'll never be late for. You can be late to every meeting in your life. The meeting that God has you scheduled for, that's your fate, you will not be late for that. Oh, I cheated death. No, it just wasn't your time. So live life to the fullest. I mean, the time that you're born and that little dash between the time you're born and when you perish, that dash, make sure you make the best of that dash. That's how you live your life in between the day you're made and the day you expire. Yeah. It's another day. I mean, all these years, 2017 and 20. So that Monday made a difference. That Sunday, January 1st, 2017 made a difference from December 31st, 2016. A day, really?
Well, I mean, I know. I want to mention a few people that transition. I mean, we talk about Tupac. A lot of people. Ricky Harris. Did you make it to the funeral?
Did I make it to the funeral?
Were you there? Or were you?
I was a pallbearer. Me and my brother.
Oh God.
We
okay.
witnessed everything firsthand.
Oh, so you didn't have a hand free to film all the
I
craziness?
did, but I wasn't going to film that part. I filmed Snoop Dogg and his speech, and what he said. A very eloquent speech about Ricky Harris. I filmed my brother Joe, who spoke, and I got that. Because those are memorable moments. When the fight happened, I was literally on the front line. Like, literally, I was in the front pew, and Snoop was a pew behind me. And the guy who had some choice words for Snoop was literally a foot and a half in front of me.
Wow.
So when it all went down, I was right there. But, I mean, I wasn't going to film it.
Of course.
Did I think about it? Absolutely. But then the other part was like, dog, really?
Yeah, strange things happen when people die. It's funny.
Man, it does. When my pop died, our family was really contained. No strange things really happened. But thank God I have a great family. But yeah, people, yeah.
Especially when it's sudden.
And Ricky was it's kind of it was fitting for Ricky Harris's funeral. I'm being honest with you. It sounds crazy, but Ricky was about that life. And he was, because it was funny. I mean, the comedians got up, from my brother to Snoop to Louis Dix, to Jeff Arnold, to some of his friends, to Scrancho. They got up. It was funny, hilarious. To Lester Berry, who was a preacher, and he did some jokes at it. It was Ricky Harris funny, but at the same time, it was real gangster. And Rick, if you knew Ricky Harris, he was gangster. He was all about LBC, Long Beach. I mean, had no idea Long Beach loved each other in that city as much as they did. Much respect and shout out to Long Beach, man. I wish every city loved their city like Long Beach loves their city. It's almost like Boston strong, really. Boston, when the terrorist attack happened during the Boston Marathon, you saw that city really come together, and you saw how much they love Boston. That's the same type of love Long Beach has for their city.
No, that's fitting tribute. I mean, people, another brilliant talent. Just go back and look at those Def Comedy Jams. It's there.
Yeah.
This is the shit, the Def Comedy Jam. Y'all know what we do. How many people in here got dogs? Clap your hands if you got dogs. See, not that many black people have pets, because we are not good with fucking pets. Especially dogs, because black dogs are like slaves, ain't they? Them motherfuckers be tied up their whole fucking life. Other dogs be running by and going, you need to get your freedom. Got you tied up like you a king.
Ricky was putting Long Beach on the map before I think a lot of people. Because when I first saw him, he was LBC. I'm like, what is Long Beach? But yeah, Long Beach was it was the ish.
Is that all it takes for something to spark off? I mean, clearly being closer to LA helps, but it's sort of like when Snoop came out and everybody was rapping for that, and then St. Louis when he came out, people were checking.
Well,
for
I mean, St. Louis, man. I mean, Cedric and my brother put St. Louis on the map comedy wise, and I mean, we had Rodney Winfield. You had who was from St. Louis, Dick Gregory's from St. Louis. We weren't really yelling St. Louis. Chuck Berry, St. Louis. A lot of great people came out of St. Louis, and then Nelly kind of put it on the map musically. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, a lot of people rep St. Louis well. Long before I did anyway. But Joe, my brother Joe, and Cedric and them kind of paved the way first.
But is that one of those things like in
comedy?
If you clearly you saw your brother succeeding, and that's what made you want to get in the game.
Absolutely.
But is that something that's important in terms of building an artistic community, like seeing other people within your town?
You get inspired. I mean, mine was immediate right in my own family. But I'm sure for other people who live in a city and they see somebody else from that city do well and represent well, you kind of want to carry the torch and keep that torch lit for your city.
Well, what inspired Joe? He was just a self-starter?
Joe was really the pioneer in our family for entertainment. Absolutely. Joe was always a class clown. I was a class clown, but Joe was a class clown, always silly. Loved Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor and those guys, and Joe was always an oddball. And he just turned it into, when he went to college, he wanted to do it. The seed was planted with him, and then, was passed on to me. And so, yeah, Joe was definitely the trailblazer as far as entertainment. My other brother, older than Joe, moved to L.A. first. So that kind of like gave Joe the balls to move out to LA because you got family out there. You can shack up with them for a while until you get on your feet. So that helped too. So, Ramon, who's retired Lieutenant Colonel in U.S. Army, he went out there first. He really, really blazed the trail first as far as like us leaving the nest other than college.
So, and your parents were teachers, right? So,
My mom was a teacher. My dad was retired military. Yeah.
right. Now, I thought that was interesting. That, like a lot of comedians, their parents are teachers. I mean, I know you went to college.
Because
so
teachers got, you know what? You never notice, teachers got the worst kids. They do. Preachers got the freakiest kids. Mechanics have the worst cars. Plumbers got the worst bathrooms. And it's just teachers got the dumbest and the worst kids. And we were always clowns.
But if you made a list of comedians who didn't necessarily go to college, but had
I didn't go to college.
teachers that were.
I went. I didn't finish.
So Chris Rock, his mom's a teacher.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle.
I mean, they're smart. Don't get me. When I mean dumb, I don't mean dumb as in.
Just badly behaved.
Yeah, exactly. We're misfits.
Right?
Yeah, we do dumb shit.
There's 5 of you in the hood of St. Louis.
6 of us.
In the 70s, breakdancing probably.
None of us could break dance.
No.
Nobody in my family can sing or dance. We're terrible at both.
So there's no pictures of you with flat tops and jerry curls?
Yeah, but we weren't good. No, I never had a jerry curl.
Okay.
Never had a jerry curl.
So New Edition movies coming out, you won't see. Gotcha.
Never had a jerry curl. I was always that guy that wanted to go against the grain.
Okay.
Never had penny loafers. Never had a Michael Jackson jacket. Never had a jerry curl. No tattoos. No piercings. I may get a tattoo though. I honor my dad. But I always wanted to do what everybody wasn't doing. I wanted to go against the grain.
Were you the nerd or you were?
I wasn't a nerd,
just didn't...
I wasn't a nerd. I wasn't street. I was, I was neat. Is that in between nerd and street? The neat? I don't know. But I wasn't. I mean, we grew up still disciplined. My dad was military, and my mom was a teacher, so it was always discipline.
Right.
But it was always that we're wired to be oddballs and misfits. I mean, comedians, you got to realize, you're born a comedian. You're not made into a comedian. You're born that way because we're dark souls. We have dark in us, and we do comedy to bring light to those dark situations. So you're born. I was born to do this. Born to do it. And most true comedians are.
Well, because a lot of people, they say, like, if you're talking about
truth and pain, comedy is truth and pain.
Like a lot of people, they say, like, they saw, say, Red Fox on TV, and they saw how their parents reacted to that, and they wanted to bring that same kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have those
St.
kind of
Louis,
stories?
Red Fox, yeah. I mean, it was Def Comedy Jam for me.
Okay.
That really was the key to my engine. And I've said that in our previous interview years ago, and I said it in every interview. That was a key because I saw guys my age and my brother doing what I was doing in school, on the school bus, at work, and getting paid for it.
Definitely. So I don't want to keep you much longer, but I got 2 more points.
Okay, 2 more points.
You guys can hang on, right? That's why we'll stick in a little commercial break. Because I gotta get people watching stuff.
It's my birthday.
If they've watched this long, happy birthday.
I hope I'm making it interesting for y'all. I know I get deep sometimes, too deep.
But I think people want. I mean, they just appreciate conversation. I mean, so many of us are detached now. We're not watching the same things, but we still feel that need to connect.
Right.
So and we can't always get out to see live comedy, but we appreciate the intelligence. So celeb stories. I just want a Bernie Mac story. Close it out, because I know.
A few Bernie Mac stories, man. I mean, Bernie Mac, we shot the movie Life together. I learned a lot from him on the set of Life about getting into character, staying in the character. Even though he's a comedian, he brought that drama to his character. And when he was ready to do his scenes, man, he was focused. He was locked in. It wasn't about jokes. But at the same time, on the days he didn't have the dramatic roles, he kept everybody in stitches. From Eddie to Martin to Anthony Anderson to myself to, you name it, Miguel Nunez. He kept all of us in stitches. And my boy Bear, rest in peace, Michael Teleferro. And then, touring with him on the Kings of Comedy tour, we did both simultaneously. It's like we were shooting a movie during the week. On the weekends, we did Kings of Comedy. And he just took me on his wing and just always be true, always be real. He was just the most down-to-earth person that you ever want to meet, to be honest, in this game, as big as he was.
Yeah, and so, and just going to say, we interviewed him one time right when Pride was coming out. He did the red carpet, and he said that he wasn't. He wasn't trying to do the shucking and jiving.
Everything is not $1, and that's one reason I'm glad to be a part of it, because it's a good film. This film makes sense. It has a story. The story needs to be told. It's not something that's just over the top or something just to be beating each other up all the time, signifying or playing the dozens. I don't want to do that. That's easy. I'm an actor.
He wanted to be serious. He wanted people to take him seriously, and he
Right.
wasn't doing things just for the money.
See, Bernie was that guy. He seemed like a caricature, but that's just who he was. And he, Bernie was that guy off stage too. But he's also very serious at the same time. And he wanted people to see both sides of him. Because he wasn't just a guy who was funny. He was a guy who was dark on the inside, like we all are as comedians. So he wanted to show his range. And I mean, I loved him in all the Ocean 11's movies. I loved him in Life when he was funny, and because I read that script, and what he brought to that character, man, was not in that script at all. And that was the beauty of Life. You had somebody as huge as Eddie Murphy, an icon, a legend, as huge as Martin Lawrence. But Eddie was definitely the king of that movie. And he went to the director the first day and said, man, let them go. Let them be themselves. You don't get that out of a big star in Hollywood, because they're usually insecure. They don't want you to outshine them. But Eddie had enough confidence in himself and enough faith in us that it would be, harmonious. And it was.
Hungry. Get that off?
Man, no, you better eat, stop aggravating people.
I ain't aggravating nobody, okay?
Nerves, scraping toes and shit, making excess noise.
Yo, make a lot of noise, make a lot of noise down there.
Look at the spoon, man. It's filthy.
Filthy, ain't it?
Man, fuck that spoon, just eat. We don't destroy everybody in the just be cool. My name Ray Gibson, I ain't Miss Claude Banks.
Wait long.
Well, long. Willie, huh?
Nah, pretty sensible, man. What you up in there for?
It's a long
He
story.
had killed the son bitch with a claw hammer when he was 13 years old.
So they say.
A lot of people say it, though.
Wait a second, you been in here since you were 13? All right. How about you, boy? How long you been in here? What you do?
Stop it, chopped your sister here with ass.
She was my half sister. So I cut her ass in half. At least I ain't the one who poisoned my own mom and pop. Now, tell that.
They deserved it, radio.
What you talking about, Biscuit? You the one skinned your landlady alive and made a jacket out of her.
Well, at least he didn't kill Santa Claus.
Santa Claus? Which one you niggas killed Santa Claus?
Now, it wasn't the Santa Claus. He just wearing a suit and ringing the bell.
He had presents. I ain't getting nothing.
You killed one of them Salvation men and the dude to be out there was on the street with the bell?
Something like that.
The movie Life is a great piece of work because the set was beautiful, and Eddie set the tone. He set the tone from day one. He allowed us to be ourselves, and that's what happens when you get a great product after that.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
so he did that.
Well, Eddie, I mean, we gave him a little bit of crap about Mr. Church, but
hey man, look.
But I mean, you don't have to comment on Mr. Church. It is what it is. But what I'm curious.
Here's the thing. Let me say something to that.
All right. Okay.
This business, and Eddie is, not an exception to the rule, because he has longevity and staying power. Mm-hmm. But most people in this business don't last long. Mm-hmm. And if they're going to give you $20 million, $10 million, $5 million to do a project, you got to stack your chips in this business, because you never know when they're going to try and take you down. So you got to stack your chips. And a lot of times when you get sometimes you can read a script and it's great when you read it. It's great, like, wow. And then it depends on the director, the editor, the cinematographer, the scoring, the cast. That's why you have awards for all those categories. When you read that script, you don't know if it's going to suck at the end. most of the times. You read a good piece of work. But that's why it takes a great ensemble of everybody being on the same page, doing a great job to put a good product out there. We can talk about a bad movie once it's shot, but when you read that script, I read many scripts that I did and didn't do that were great on paper. And then once you shoot it, it's something different. And then once you edit it, it's something totally different. And then once you see it, it's like, oh shit.
Right. Well, you know,
But at the end of the day, you still got 5 million, 20 million. I mean, come on. And as when you black, you better stack your chips.
yeah. Well,
You better stack. I don't care what anybody say about it's a horrible movie. Fuck that. 20 million. 5 million, 10 million, million, whatever.
I don't know
Stack
if you
your
saw
chips.
the clip. It was Eddie Murphy at the SAG Awards. He said he has Pluto Nash parties because it helped him.
Yo, I'm telling you,
kids in
look.
school.
People talk about Norbit. I fucking love Norbit. Every time it's on, I stop. People sleep on that movie Norbit. I'm sorry. I loved Norbit. And Little Nash, I mean, hey, it doesn't 20 million. And a lot of those films like that overseas, they see them differently than we see them over here.
Right.
And they make a lot of money internationally.
Right. What
20 million.
What I was getting at.
And that's the guarantee. That's not what it makes at the box office, your percentage of that, residuals, DVD sales, when it goes to cable, all of that. That's a whole nother stream of revenue.
Yeah, I mean, what I was getting at, Eddie Murphy has created a lot of opportunities for people.
Absolutely.
The Black Pack.
And behind the scenes, he makes sure we're taken care of. He's not out in front of cameras advertising it, but on Life, when some bullshit went down, he made sure it was nipped in the bud real quick. And he made sure that the brothers were really, and the sisters were really taken care of and treated well. And he's not out there advertising that.
Right. So my curiosity, I don't know if you ever were involved when they were doing Tower Heist. The original idea was all black.
I didn't know that, but I like that movie too.
Yeah, originally, like I think for years he's wanted to remake those Uptown Saturday Night movies.
Right.
Right.
Great
so
movies.
this was going to be as close as he was going to get.
Right.
Like so, but they like it turned out he was the only black guy in the movie aside from Gabrielle.
No, it's the other guy, the gentleman, the light skinned guy who was in Fences. He was in the movie. I forget his name. I'm sorry, I forget your name.
Oh, Steve
brother.
McKinley.
Yes,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
a great actor, man. But he was good in that movie too. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's
He
a
was
good
beige.
movie.
He was beige. He wasn't bleed black. He was beige.
It's a good
but
movie,
he's a hell of
but
an actor.
it's not exactly what the original intent was. It was going to be like sort of like an update, like that
Right.
chemistry that you had in Life, and
Right.
all that kind of stuff.
Hey man, that chemistry. I don't know if you ever recreate that chemistry again. Cause we had the right director,
Ted Demme.
Ted Demme. We had the right star and the right co-stars and the right cast. Everything just people don't know Cicely Tyson was in that movie and got cut out.
Oh, I didn't know.
Cause yeah, she was in the movie and I hate they cut her out because the director wanted her in, but I think power was over him, wanted her out. But man, it was a great cast.
Yes, it's slept on, and Ted Demme gone too soon.
Yeah, man, rest in peace. I was there when he passed away. Horrible.
Oh, at the basketball game?
Yeah, I played in the NBA Entertainment League, and at the time, my game was next.
Oh my God.
He was, yeah. And when I got there, when I was on my way, the ambulance passed us before I parked. And when I parked, I went into the gym, and it was all silent. And in the paint was Ted Demme, rest in peace, man. Just laid out, and we just okay. They're gonna take him to the hospital. They're gonna be okay, but it wasn't okay.
It didn't happen. Yeah. Well, I mean, folks should Google Ted Demme, co-creator of Yo MTV Raps.
Yeah,
and,
directed Life, the movie Blow.
Who's the Man?
Yeah, Who's the Man? Really, really,
Just
and a great guy.
One of the first people to really recognize, what black talent was
Exactly.
doing ahead of the game on the whole
Absolutely,
hip hop movement.
he was mad cool, man. Damn,
Yeah, I'm sorry, I never
had
met
the
him.
best memorial ever. I said I want my memorial to be like Ted Demme's. Ted Demme had when his send off was on a sound stage with an open bar with a reggae band, weed, and a podium with 2 big bottles of Patron on it. And Dennis Leary was the host. And if you went up and said something about Ted Demme, you had to take a shot first. And that's the way you get sent off. That's a going home celebration.
Okay, so we're gonna take this one home. So what are you working on now? Where can people, if they weren't here tonight at Helium, where can they keep up with you?
All my social media, I'm trying to get my social media game up. Please follow me. That's how you get roles now. It ain't about being a good actor. All that American History X stuff and life stuff, that's in the past. They don't care about that shit. They care about followers now. So please follow me on all my social media handles at Guy Torry, GUYTORRY. And just, I'm going to post, my life, funny stuff, serious stuff, inspirational stuff. And look out for my documentary that's coming out, Fat Tuesdays. That finally is going to be done. I've been working on it for like 3 to 4 years now. A cookbook coming out with recipes from my favorite comedians and my recipes. A sitcom I just wrote that will be sold this year. A reality show is in the works. And a couple other things. So, my special, my comedy special, which I plan to shoot this summer, actually. So, yeah.
Yeah, and he, if you thought he was funny here, he didn't really share much from the special. So you got to watch the special. You got to pay
I've been
support
up for like
and
100 hours
advertisers.
already.
Huh?
I've been up for 100 hours.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, Guy Torry.
Appreciate you all, listening to this, and I hope you got something from it. Pass it on, because knowledge is power, and hopefully I drop some gems on you that you can take on and help your career, help your life. Guy Torry. Real black. It's like Face on Love black. It's like Hotel Rwanda black. It's like Bernie Mac and Wesley Snipes black. It's real black. This ain't light skin black. This ain't Red Grant black or Shamar Moore black. This is real black. It's a black shit. And your name is? Real black. Guy Torry. Real black. I said real black. Because I'm real black. Cut me open, it's real black. I bleed coffee, no sugar, no cream. I bleed coffee, no sugar, no cream. I'm real black.